session, you guys finished up dealing with the winery, making sure everything was cleaned up and taken care of. In the process of that, Oscar decided to bring back the staff that bleeds and is made of a very dark, spongy wood, and thought that, he should bring that back with him. After, you guys settled all that, then you spoke with the Martikovs again to decide how the winery was going to be handled. And you guys decided that on your way back, you would head back to Valaki to deliver some alcohol back to the Blue Water Inn where you're staying to kind of, get a reward and appease some of your payments for spending the night and for your food, and to also be able to attend the Festival of the Burning Sun. Our Blazing Sun. And I believe you guys still had a little bit of time after the delivery and decided to drop by the toy store to kind of investigate some of the toys that you found. At the toy store, you saw that he was being commissioned to make dolls that look too close to Irina to be comfortable. But otherwise, he just had a bunch of very macabre toys. And you guys did make some requests for toys that you'd like. Did any of you buy any? I feel like...
Yeah, I have
the puppet.
Sure, everyone did.
Yeah, I have the puppet of... was it Of He Who Should Not Be Named?
Or the devil.
Yes.
And then I know, Aiden, you put in requests for dolls that look like Felch and Myrtle.
Yes, Felt.
Was it Felt? I remember his name being gross. I knew I wrote these down. Where are they? Oh, Romero wants a ball and cup toy, and Fench wants a puzzle box. Oh, it's Freak, not Felch. I saw Fench. I said Felch, but Freak and Myrtle dolls in preserved boxes for them. Oh, and Oscar wants a dummy of himself.
Yes.
All right. I believe where we last left off is you guys were all headed up for the night to rest up before the festival. So we'll pick up from you guys sleeping. Oscar, as much as you try to sleep through the night, you can't help but become really interested in taking further looks into the staff to understand it better. So without you really realizing it, you spend most of your night in your bed, kind of like looking over the staff. You just see the various veins of the tree in it, and you can really feel the spongy texture of it. And before you realize it, you fall asleep with it in your hand.
Like most nights.
Throughout the night, you begin having vivid nightmares. It's all a gray fog to you, but the one thing that definitely stands out is you see a dark tree standing on top of a hill that looks like it's made of the same wood of that of the staff that you have.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're kind of like tossing and turning in bed, not getting a great night's sleep. Then Aiden, if I remember correctly, tonight's the night of your date?
Yes.
Okay. Are you doing anything to prep?
All the breath mints.
Tequila.
Probably just like clean off my outfit.
Okay. Do you get any sleep, or are you just trying to stay up?
Probably not.
Okay. As you're preparing, Aiden, you can kind of hear through the wall. Yeah, because you share this wall of where Oscar's staying. You kind of hear him rustling through the night, but you're not really sure what all the noise is. But as you hear him tossing and turning, you can kind of see a faint glow of a torch heading towards the inn from outside this window.
Like it's leaving the inn?
Heading towards the inn.
Can I see who it is?
Yeah, it takes you a bit to kind of adjust your eyes to the darkness, but you're surprised to see it's actually George heading towards the inn.
Interesting. I don't think he knew my address.
He's a creep.
Guess I'll go find him.
Okay. I'll bring you on to... Oh, wait. I forgot to bring a token for him. Move these guys out of the way. Let me
He's
see.
this old man.
Let's see.
Like a silver-haired fox.
Oh, but before I go, I gotta make sure that Jorin's coming.
Okay.
It's time to leave.
Yes, Jorin. It appears my date has tracked me down somehow.
Stalker.
Hold on.
I'll just use this token. Well, I think there should be a General Velaki token. Or Velakian one. Let me see.
Yeah, it's a super creepy one, right?
Just have him go on a date with a young blue dragon.
Blue dragon. Yes. Another option I have is a vine blight.
Oh.
Yeah, that's hot.
Get that hentai action.
Oh.
Let's just do this for now.
Bad touch, bad touch.
But yeah, so you're bringing Jorin with you?
Jorin is supposed to follow behind, but secretly.
Sneaky like.
Okay. So I'll bring you, like, to this part. Like, towards the bottom of the stairs.
Seems appropriate.
Yeah, I have all these spare tokens here that don't need to be here right now.
Oh, I don't get to hang out with everybody.
Irina's sneaking too.
Sneaking through the night. All right. So as you head down, you notice that George is dressed in what looks like he attempted to look formal, but it's got various worn patches along the dark ashy gray suit, and the sleeves seem a bit too short, yet the pants are just a little bit too long. He approaches you and he smiles and he apologizes. He's like, I know we said we would meet by the edge of the woods, but I asked around town about you. I was too excited. I wanted to make sure we met up fine and that we didn't end up at different edges of the woods.
He's coming on strong. Be careful.
Quiet over there, Nightmare Tree.
I'll reply, that's really alright. Did you need to change our plans?
No, I mean, we can still go into the woods like you asked. I just wanted to make sure we actually met up. Like, in hindsight, I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but there's so many woods around Velaki.
Yes. But that's why I brought you. You were interested in this book, so I figured between our two heads we should be able to find what we're looking for.
He gives you a cheesy smile and he's like, yeah, I hope so.
Alright. So, the plan is we need to find a fungus that grows in the woods, lit by moonlight. So, I will be using these magic torches, and I use my dancing light spell
Okay.
to light around us, so that we can still see ahead of us and see any sort of like well-lit patches in the woods.
Okay.
That's where the fungus will have to grow. But we'll still be able to hide in case there's any monsters.
Sounds like a plan. I
Yo,
gave
quick
you...
question.
Mm-hmm.
George is the guy who looks like Jack Black, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The dressed up Jack Black. I gave you...
He's not quite as lively as the real Jack Black.
Do you expect a librarian assistant to be as lively as Jack Black?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I know I had torch icons before, right? That I used for your dancing lights.
Yes.
Let me see if I can find them again. Should be default. Is that 4? Yeah. And then I think I can give you... Can I give you control of them?
You did before.
Yeah.
Settings. I can't change all of them at once. Okay. Okay, try
That's
moving
nice.
them now.
Oh. Looks like I moved some of them.
Oh, how many did I put down?
Yeah, I can move.
Okay. So I'll make sure to bring those with you towards the woods. Alright. So yes. So George asks, like, is there anything else you want to prepare before we go out?
I don't think so.
Alright.
This is the spell in case you need it.
Dancing lights. Okay. Yeah. I remember these. Alright, so yes. So George, I'll put Jorin in the group, but I'll say he's further in the back. He starts leading you guys, or leading Aiden out towards one of the exits of the town. He asks before you go, he's like, do you think north, south, east, or west would be more likely to have your fungus?
Let me see. I think the forest is thickest to the south.
Okay, and he's like, okay, it shouldn't be too far for one of the gates for us to get through. And then, I know I copied and pasted everyone. Did I? There we go. Much too large for the map, but it's okay. So yeah, so
Poor
from
big boys.
big boys. Yes, so from the inn, he leads you down one of the paths to this gate down here towards the south of the town. The guards give you guys kind of an odd look for seeing you go out so late at night. They kind of shine their torches at you as you approach, and they ask, what is your duty?
My duty?
Yes, no one actually ventures out of Valaki at this hour. It's the Devil's Hour.
The Devil's Hour?
Yes, he has most of his power at night.
Well, we're quite far away from him, and I'm certain that the guards can keep the surrounding area safe enough.
They eye you suspiciously, and they're like, so is this just personal business that you're going out for?
I look at George and give him a wink, and I say, you could say something like that.
It seems to go over the guards' heads, and they kind of just glance at each other. But they let you through, but they warn you that, or they say to you, like, don't forget, we warned you about what's out in the woods at night.
Well, if you hear any screams, come and save us.
Okay. And again, they look nervously at each other, but they let you through. And then you guys find yourselves, it doesn't take too long until you guys find yourselves in a crossroads with a couple options to go through the forest. Oh, I have a tiny Romero token with me. When did that get here?
Whoa.
Tiny one?
Yeah, because
You leave
That's
Tiny Romero
That's
out.
a very tiny Romero token. Wow.
well, like I had scaled you guys at one point to like you see how small some of the guards actually are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you find yourselves at this crossroads. You see woods to the side of you and straight ahead.
What does the sky look like?
It is mostly pitch black with a couple specks of stars throughout. You can see that the moon is pretty bright, but there seems to be some cloud cover.
Okay. So... What was that?
I think it was a sneeze.
Facts.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Subtle.
Okay. Can I see like tracks in this road? Like which path is taken more?
Looking at it, let me zoom out a bit to see. Actually, let me go to this other map real quick.
You're a thirsty bitch.
I would say the one to your side is taken more often than the one straight ahead of you.
Alright, then we'll head straight ahead.
Okay. So as you approach, you can see that looking into the forest, it's much darker than it is just outside in the night sky. George kind of takes the lead a bit, and he goes through, and he holds out a torch in front of him, kind of moving it left to right to see, as if he's trying to scare something off. As he does this, you can kind of make out the sounds of like low growls in the distance and a couple of flapping wings in the night.
Do I hear like bat sounds?
Make a perception check.
Noise. Perception?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hearing it, it definitely sounds like bats, but they don't sound too close.
George, those seem to be off in the distance. I'm sure we'll be okay. But I'd like us not to give away our position. So if you could put the torch away.
George nods. He's like, yes, yeah, sorry. Okay. And then he goes ahead and puts his torch out.
Okay. So I use these like torches and sort of like move them through the woods as we're going, but not really giving away our position.
Okay.
Spot anything.
Yeah. So as you're moving the lights throughout the woods, you kind of get glimpses. You see the occasional bat flutter through the trees. You make out the large round eyes of owls reflecting the very faint light from your orbs. And you can see various small glowing, maybe caterpillars or maggots kind of crawling along branches. But nothing malicious seems to be out in the woods. But you can't help but feel a chill down your spine as you actually step into the woods.
Alright. So, what's ahead of us then?
You saw the occasional like bat flutter through the trees, just maybe like one or two at a time. You kind of saw what looks like maybe the reflection of like owl eyes. You know how if you shine a light in their direction, you kind of get a little bit of a reflection. And then you see what looks like maybe some small glowing bugs along the branches, but nothing outwardly malicious.
Alrighty. Let's see. Alright. So I'll ask George if he'd like a drink.
He's like, a drink? Did you bring stuff for a picnic?
Just a few drinks.
Sure, it'll probably help ease the tension of being out in the dark like this.
Yes. So I'll bring out like one of my wine glasses and pour him some of that grape crush stuff I stole.
Okay. Do you do anything fancy with it?
I just cool it down a bit.
Okay. George happily takes it, and he takes a sip. He's like, "Ah, yes, I've had this at the inn. It tastes much better chilled."
Hmm. So George, tell me about yourself.
About me. You met me in the library. A lot of my passions about reading and researching. As excited as I am for the woods at night, for all the things that I read about and never get to see, it's still sending shivers down my spine. I can feel the goosebumps. Do you?
Not particularly, no. This is a pretty calm afternoon for me.
Oh, you're comfortable? Most comfortable at night?
Yes, but it's more that I've had a rough few days, and so this is pretty relaxed compared to that.
For a few days. Oh no, I'm sorry. Sorry, I should have realized you're an adventurer. You guys deal with so much more than I ever have to. I'm sorry.
I mean, there's no need to apologize. It's not like you're causing me trouble.
Yes, I hope that your night goes well so I can take your mind off of everything, even for just a moment.
I'll just let that sit.
All right. Are you ready to go in the woods?
Yes.
Okay. So, Aiden.
Freaking Hop and her freaking romance plot.
What?
Hey,
You didn't,
I
you
don't
didn't
mind.
think this was going to turn into a dating sim?
I know, I just assume it always is a dating sim.
I mean, this whole time in the back of my mind, all I can think of is like, now you see him sitting there across from you. It's possible he wants you to. So one way to ask him. Wow, wow.
Just because every game I turn into a dating sim in some way doesn't mean anything.
It's okay. She'll surprise us all. It's about to become Darkest Dungeon.
You're about to be eaten alive in the woods. By George, who's gonna split in half and turn into a fucking vampire.
See,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is
Split
not.
me in half, George.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm.
Ugh.
Mhm.
I was gonna say this isn't Tokyo Ghoul, but everything's double meanings tonight, huh? Okay. But yes. So as you step into the woods, you can't help but still hear the various critters throughout the night. Fench. Nothing seems. You've faced a lot of creatures so far in your adventure, so nothing really stands out to you as anything particularly scary. The only thing that does get to you is that you notice that your field of view lessens as the trees really do block your various dancing lights. So at best, you probably still only have about no more than an arm's length of clear vision in front of you.
Arm's length.
Yeah,
Wow, it's really overgrown.
it is a thick woods.
How thick is it?
5 C's.
Oh,
It's a lot of thick.
Yes.
a lot of branches to get through.
Let's see. If I can't see more than arm's length ahead of me, I'm not going to be able to see any gaps in the trees either.
You can still make out some patches. It seems that the cloudy skies have been clearing up a bit, and you can see kind of like random beams of moonlight up ahead. But it doesn't clear your vision enough for you to be able to see too much.
Okay, well that's fine. So I just keep my ears out and move towards that area.
Okay. As you're passing through, a lot of these beams of light are really thin. It doesn't look like anything could come from it. But as you walk maybe another few feet, you do kind of see one strong beam of moonlight. And looking ahead, you see what you think is a slight reddish color underneath that moonlight.
Well, George, we may have found what we're looking for.
George, you realize, has been completely distracted by all of the night creatures. He's kind of like looking up. He has his hand cupped around his ear, kind of listening for all the different birds and bats flying around. He didn't really hear you when you called out to him.
Ah, okay. I guess I'll tap him on the shoulder.
He jumps a bit.
George, are you okay?
I was listening out for that bat because I was making sure if it was the bat that I read about, whether it was a fruit bat, a vampire bat. Yeah, there's so many possibilities.
A sex bat.
One of these is not like the other.
What do you? But yeah, he looks back at you. He's like, did you find your mushroom?
I believe it's in the clearing ahead.
Hi. You okay?
Yep. Just the double entendres is never ending with this campaign.
It is,
But go on,
Hop's
look for that
special
mushroom.
skill.
Unintentional. Okay.
Sure it was.
So, George looks up ahead. He's like, "Oh, that under that moonlight."
Yes, that's what the paper said.
Uh,
Seems to grow in the moonlight.
He's like, "Oh." He gets excited, and then he kind of like starts heading towards it, not really waiting for you.
All right, I'll keep pace with him.
Okay. Jorin, did you?
Hi.
Yes, you were supposed to be keeping. Were you just keeping watch, or are you also trailing into the woods behind them?
I'm
Pervert.
Well, Aiden had a turn, right, Oscar?
I am trailing into the woods behind them, trying to keep them within eyesight.
Okay. And you notice a lot of these things as well. Nothing stands out to you as anything right now. Yes. So Aiden, George reaches it and he looks down at it. He's like, it definitely looks like nothing I've ever seen before. Does it match the paper description I had ripped off for you? And as you get closer, you see a single small red mushroom with a black veil-like canopy.
One sec.
Yes.
So how's everyone's day? Do we have any more double entendres to fill the silence?
I'm back. I just need a pen.
Okay.
I thought that's what you were getting in the woods.
Oh my goodness. There's your next double entendre.
That's what the mushroom's actually called.
Oh my
I'll
god.
double his entendre.
Ooh.
So it's red with a black canopy?
Yeah.
That's similar to my visions, right?
Yes.
Alright. And does it match the description in the book?
Yep.
So, does it look dangerous to me?
It doesn't look very dangerous to you. Actually, as you get closer to it, you kind of feel an ease come about you. And you can take away one of the negative effects I gave to you. You get to choose which one.
The intelligence. Alright, so I can think more clearly then. Alright. Can I see a way to, like, recover this mushroom?
It's growing on a fallen log. So it's not necessary. It doesn't necessarily have any kind of root system as far as like you being able to dig around it. But George might have some info for you if you, from all his readings.
Alright. George, this does appear to be what I'm looking for. But I naturally can't study it in depth here in the woods. Do you have a way that we can move it?
He's still extremely fascinated by this mushroom. He's like, it is really, I've never seen anything. Oh, getting it out of the woods. Yeah. You should be able to just bring the whole log with it. It seems to enjoy growing on the side of things. Some fungi prefer to grow on some decaying matter.
How big is this log?
It's not very big. You'd have to guess maybe 2 feet long.
2 feet long.
Yeah, it's not like a trunk of a tree, but it's like...
Okay. I don't really want to carry around a giant 2-foot long log with me. That's
Just
just
kinda like
more Oscar's business.
Just kind of like toss it over your shoulder.
Could I try to like cut a piece of it?
Yeah, you probably could. Make a... I was gonna say dexterity, but I don't know if that's necessarily...
What you looking for?
Medicine?
You don't have any magic that
Nature?
can help you with this?
Nature? Medicine? I don't know.
I was just trying to think of like a roll for him to see how well he can cut the log.
Survival?
Cut the mushroom from the log, saving it for study.
Yes. Like mushrooms usually reproduce by spores. Can I recover the spores?
That would definitely be a nature check, I think.
Aha.
Is that what you want to do? Okay. Yes. Looking at it and getting some of George's help, he's able to identify to you what definitely look like spores along the bark of the decaying log as opposed to just like dust. Do you have any spare vials? I think you might have some.
I've got a chest, a mess kit, a few books.
You don't want to grab a
bottle of
2-foot
oil.
log, but you're carrying around a chest?
Yeah, I fail to understand the logic here.
The chest can carry other things, alright? I'm not just hauling around this piece of tree.
Can the chest carry the tree?
No.
But chest.
Just the building?
The point is not to recover the whole tree, alright?
Can't you have like one of your more able-bodied teammates trim the tree down for you later?
It's not it's not like a physical tree. It's a fallen piece of log that's decaying, but it is, about 2 feet long. So you don't have to chop down a tree. It's just like
Fun
laying down on the
fact,
ground.
it's a cordyceps.
It's a what?
It's one of those brain burrowing mushrooms.
Hmm. Wow.
Look at Finch breaking out that weird knowledge.
Spores.
Random Fench knowledge.
Wow.
Okay, so what does this check give me?
Yes. So I was gonna say, if you're using it to look at spores, you can work. George is able to help you in identifying what are actually spores from the mushroom, for you to be able to bring with you. But I was checking if you had something you could put the spores in, or how you planned on carrying them.
I was gonna put them in a pouch that we got.
Okay, a pouch should be fine. Because I thought you had vials before, because didn't you use vials for the mold
No, I used one of the bottles.
bottles? Okay.
I used the wine bottle.
Okay.
This fucking guy and his fucking wine bottles.
Yep, my poisonous mold, absolute zero. Wine
Refrigerator. Ice cube. Yes. But yeah. Okay, you can put them in a pouch.
bottle. Okay. Is there anything weird about like this area, or is it just this mushroom?
The only thing that stands out is the mushroom.
And there's only one growing here, right?
Yep.
Is there something special about this tree that it's eating?
Do a nature check.
Yeah,
Determine what kind of tree.
make another nature check. What?
Wow, you're good at this.
Looking at it, the tree doesn't look any different than the rest of the woods. The only thing special about it seems that it's in a state of decay. So you could probably surmise that the mushroom prefers to grow off of dead things.
Okay. Alright, could I break some of the wood off and take it with me too?
Yeah, if you just want to chip off some of the bark, then yeah, that should be easy to do.
Alrighty. Alrighty. Well, by George, it looks like we've got it.
And George was like, "Wait, are you leaving me in the woods? Did you say bye?"
No. I meant by, like, through your hands.
Oh, I'm glad I could help then. And he rushes forward. He's like, "So, yeah, you got the spores. You got some wood for it to grow off of. I think you have everything you need."
Yes. Oh.
Hey.
Kiss him.
Yeah, is there anything else you want to do in the woods, Aiden, before you head back?
Anything else?
Shut up. I don't know. I've still got Jorin watching. It's still probably pretty dangerous out in the woods.
I didn't know you were going mushroom hunting. I thought this was actually a date.
I told you
I
it was
thought it
also
was
to be
a date as well.
mushroom hunting.
Just
These
take him
good
back
Christian
to your,
hands stay to themselves.
Shut up.
Just take him back to the room to go over your research, quote unquote. Can't see my hands doing the little quotes, but
I thought I was here because of the
Can
creepy
you
things
fish
in
the mushroom out of my pocket?
Oh,
woods.
oh.
no, thank you. This is why Fench hasn't been going on any dates lately.
Come
I
on,
don't
that's
think
not the
that's the
Fench
reason.
voice.
Isn't it though? I don't know what his sexy voice is.
No, I don't want to keep in the woods too long. Like, George is really distracted by everything under the sun. And so, I'll ask if we can head back to his library to continue some research.
Okay.
Ooh.
You're all children. Yeah, George says that's fine, and you guys turn around and start heading back up the path To which, Jorin, you can kind of see them now in the faint light of the, what are they called? Dancing lights?
Yes.
Yes, and the some of Aiden's dancing lights that they're starting to head back. So you head back. Jorin, make a perception check. Okay. Nearby through the woods, it was mostly quiet, but now that you guys are leaving the woods, you hear branches snap nearby, but you can't tell where from.
I don't hear that though.
No.
Okay. So yeah.
I'm kind of like stop and try and pay attention and listen, see if I can hear anything else, hear anything again.
Okay, make another check.
I'm worse.
You hear the branches, snapping branches seem to get louder, and you kind of hear what you could almost think are wolves starting to gain on you from this side of the woods that you guys didn't come under. You look quickly, though, and as you look, you see nothing actually there.
Trying to think of what I should do here. Maybe, well, slowly creep my way toward it, trying to be silent.
Okay. Make a stealth check. Okay. You're able to keep you're able to keep quiet enough that as you approach the side of the woods, you look again and you still see no sign of wolves, and you no longer hear any of the noises you were hearing earlier.
Look, I see. Do I look for Aiden and George, and they don't appear to have any idea what's happening?
I would say they're just about getting out of the woods now.
Okay.
And you wait for them to come out the woods?
Yeah.
Okay. George is surprised. He's like, have you been out here the whole time, sir?
Well, I mean, like, I'm not.
You're not being...
open.
You're not going to leave
Yeah.
your... Oh, okay.
I'm like, still. I'm trying to stay hidden. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't want them to find me either.
Eagle eyes.
He has eagle eyes. All right. Aiden and George do come out of the woods, and they don't seem to be nervous about anything.
Okay. I'll kind of let them go and keep an eye from behind as they pass.
Okay, so you're more kind of like over here on the side.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So, yep. So Aiden and George, you guys can head back up towards the gate without any issues.
And after, once they pass, I'll try and keep my just enough distance so that George doesn't notice me and follow them back.
Okay. The guards...
I'm tiny and hidden.
The guards see you again. They're like, you guys weren't out for very long. Any danger out there in the woods?
Nope. Turns out that you guys are doing a great job.
They eye you down. They're like, it's too late to worry if that was sarcastic or not. You guys can come back in. Yeah, you guys are let back in. And then, Jorin, you can come back in behind them because the guards, they saw you leave earlier with them. So then, Aiden, you head straight to his library?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
And
going
then,
to venture to guess that Aiden doesn't need me for the next part, and I'll head back to my room at the end.
okay.
Once we're inside the walls, I think he's got things under control.
Cue the
Or
Ninja
out of
Boys
control.
Control the music. Oh, goodness. All right, Aiden. So, as far as the studies go in the library, what kind of stuff are you taking care of or doing? And I want to pick my phrasing carefully.
He's checking out a thick book.
Don't forget your book covers.
Great. You probably got that guy in your
Yeah.
chat.
Nah.
making all- What would Fench do?
Be careful, you don't want to get punished for any overdue library fees.
I didn't know.
Y'all are terrible.
I didn't know libraries are so
You
naughty.
set the situation up. Don't blame us.
Okay.
You're the
Tell them about
making
your
of your own
huge
prison.
bibliophile.
But yeah, go ahead and summarize. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll ask George to go get his books related to this subject.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then I'll go to the table that I guess, assistant librarian, the lady we first met.
Oh, she's the librarian. George is the assistant.
Ah, okay. So, and then I'll clean up the disastrous mess there. Right. And then set up drinks and a clear area to put the books down. And clean out an area for the spores in the wood that we found. Alright. We're going full research trip on this.
Montage music.
Yes.
Okay. Do you plan on doing the research the whole night? Are you going back to the inn afterwards?
I don't know. I'll see how it goes. I already know that they're in the...
Black cut too.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily uninvite myself.
Okay.
Just walks up to do the research and just opens the door and there's just a naked man.
With a bow tie on.
Just a bow tie and a rose in his mouth. No, yeah. So George, he's able to bring you all the materials he can find on mushrooms, comparing different types of mushrooms. You guys think that with the wood and the spores, and given the right amount of moonlight, you think they could thrive very well.
Yeah, you're checking out the wood and the mushrooms.
They're comparing mushrooms.
But yeah, so it doesn't take you too long to figure out all that research. And
what are you going to do with the rest of the night?
Yeah. George does offer to walk you back to the inn since it is getting pretty late.
Or you could stay there. Now you see him sitting there across from you.
No, I'll accept.
Okay, so yeah, so he walks you back to the inn, and along the way, he nervously asks how you thought the night went.
Seems pretty successful.
He seems to fidget with his hands, and he's like, "Yeah, we did learn a lot about the mushrooms."
Well, is there something else you'd rather learn about?
George blushes. He's like, no, I don't want to rush anything. You're new in town. There's no reason to rush, right? You're not trying to hightail it out, are you?
I mean, I'm not running away or anything, but if you needed anything, I mean, it is a date.
He kind of chuckles. He's like, yeah, but it's our first day. It'll be fun. We'll hang out during the festival tomorrow, right?
I suppose.
He seems too nervous to make a move, and he turns around and leaves as you guys reach the entrance of the inn.
Alright, I'll kind of just look at him as he's walking away.
Okay. Yep.
You see a man walking away,
Yes.
hat in hand, sad.
Yes. Okay. But yes, you're back in the inn. Jorin is back in the room. He's off on the side.
Why is this map so big?
Bruh, it's so big.
Much map. Very big.
So wow.
No, I was thinking about that now because whenever we go back to it, we're always at the top, and the inn is at the bottom half.
It's because there's all the multiple floors.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so you just head back to your room for the night?
I'll go check on the kids first.
Okay.
Aw, what a good papa. Unlike bad papa Oscar.
Papa Oscar. Yes.
What?
It's like the middle of the night. They should be sleeping.
Yeah. So the kids are in like this room.
Did we switch rooms?
I don't.
No, these are always the rooms we've been in.
Yeah.
I was with Fench, you were with Jorin, and Oscar was in the big 4-bunk.
Yeah, but I thought that me and Jorin had looked out this window to spot Oscar and Irina talking once.
Oh, well, maybe we swapped rooms. I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, Fench got all my stuff dirty now.
With his adventure kebabs.
Oh,
But
It's
yes.
Romero that's in your bed.
was that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're having a bunch of personal issues.
But yeah,
Now
so
now my bed's just scary.
no. But yeah, so you see Freak and Myrtle sleeping in these rooms, but you do see Oscar kind of tossing and turning, holding onto the staff and like sweating in his sleep.
Can I cast this on Oscar?
Hey. So you're just gonna sprinkle me with holy water and then like a little poof of silver?
Well, it doesn't cost anything, so I actually use my focuses for it.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say that you can, but you don't necessarily. It doesn't seem to ease his nightmare too much.
Okay.
Oh my god.
In his sleep, no less.
Ugh.
Just when you thought you were free, Fench comes back with a vengeance.
But
In
yes,
the face.
the two kids are sleeping soundly while Oscar's in nightmare.
Alrighty. Then I will go back to the bedroom.
Okay. So, night passes. The first one that wakes up is Oscar. So, Oscar, after tossing and turning all night, you kind of wake up as the sunlight comes in through the windows and you don't feel like you slept at all.
Man. Not the best night. Not the worst night, but not the best night.
Very Oscar.
Yes. But yeah, as I said, throughout your nightmares, the only thing you seem to recall is a tall, dark tree standing atop a hill. You kind of, you're in that cold sweat, and you realize you've been gripping the staff with your right hand throughout the entire night. You look down at your right hand, and you start to notice black lines going up your arm through your veins.
That doesn't seem normal.
Doesn't. But you feel like you understand how to use the staff now.
Awesome. Oh, I have +1 cancer.
When you guys become attuned, I give you all the things you can do with it, right?
Yes. For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, like the abilities you get from it. So I'll put it in your character sheet, Oscar.
Awesome.
But yeah, so as you're sitting up, you know it's the day of the festival, but you feel so ill you don't know if you can even stand on your own feet. Romero.
Who gets up second?
Sorry, I was copying and pasting the things. Do you see it in your thing now,
Oh, yeah, I
Oscar?
got it now.
Yeah. Next up, I'd say is probably Romero and Fench, since you guys didn't do anything throughout the night. You guys can hear Oscar kind of like in pain in the other room.
Fench, you sleep on your bed upside down. It's very odd. I'm just letting you know. You can use the pillow.
I mean, I did use the pillow. Look,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, sometimes it's good to sleep on the other side of the bed. You know? Get a little comfortable that way.
Whatever. You can check on Oscar.
Okay. As you enter, you see Oscar is kind of like hunched over, just drenched in sweat, and just that noise.
Rough
Morning,
night, Oscar.
brother.
You have one too many to drink.
Nah,
Not
I wasn't
my
even that.
Yeah. Mary, you can see that he's clutching the staff from the winery, and you kind of catch a glimpse at the markings on his arm.
You all right? You seem to be leaning on that pretty hard.
Yeah, I think I might just caught a small bug in the woods or something. I should be alright.
Okay. See me if you need me. I'll go down and eat.
Okay. So yeah, Romero and Finch, you two are the first ones to head down to. Yeah, I can drag you to the other floor when you're ready.
Do the thing.
Do the thing. You guys come down, and you see that the inn this morning is rather empty, and you see the Mardukov family kind of rushingly preparing things for the upcoming day. And Danica sees you, and she's like, "Oh, you guys, make sure to hurry. I'll get you breakfast, but you want to make sure to be outside for the festival before the guards force you out for the festival."
They would force us out for the festival. That's a thing.
Yeah, it's the attendance is required.
Oh.
I give a grunt of approval.
Is the rest of your party ready?
If they're not, they'll figure it out.
It's not our responsibility.
She's like,
Adults, I believe in the ability to stand up in the morning.
She's like, okay, just keep in mind if you don't attend and the guardsmen find out that you surely will be arrested.
Oh, no, we will attend.
Yeah, that is for sure.
All right. Then Aiden and Jorin, you guys kind of get up, but you guys still feel kind of tired through the night from staying up in the night.
Okay.
Jorin, you're a little bit more awake than Aiden.
So, Aiden, how was the rest of your evening?
I suppose it was okay.
Sure. Just okay.
Are the kids awake?
They're up here with me.
Yeah, they're awake, and it looks like they're getting ready. And seeing you come in, they say not to worry about them, that they'll be spending the day at the festival with Irina, who'll be back soon.
Oh, also, Hops, after my brother had left the room, I would like to cast and maintain prestidigitation on both my arm and the stick to make it a bit more pleasing to the eyes.
Okay. Can you give me the exact wording on that? I thought that was mainly used to like remove dirt, or can you also?
You can also make things look different.
Sort of.
You can
Harmless sensory
instantly,
effects.
you can instantly clean or soil an object.
Or I guess you could make a color, small mark, or symbol appear on the object or surface for an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you can't do it on people, though. At least that's my understanding of it.
No, I don't see anywhere you can't really do that. You should be able to just do.
It does say.
You create a non-magical trinket or illusionary image that can fit in your hand.
I mean, I guess you could say you make like a little fake bracelet to cover up your one wrist, or
Yeah.
just something to kind of hide it. But yeah, Aiden. So the kids explained to you that they have plans for the day, so you don't have to worry about them. But you do see that Oscar doesn't look his usual self.
Rough night, Oscar.
Yeah. You know, lack of sex is keeping me up.
Lack of what?
You heard me. Do we all know that he went on a date?
No,
No.
No? Okay.
I think only Jorin.
Yeah. Well, I'll sort of just like give him a side eye and walk past him and help the kids get ready.
Okay, yeah. I can hear Stryder in the other room. Is he muted?
I'm sorry, I was laughing too hard. I was like, yeah, he said it in front of the kids and everything. Oh my god.
Right.
The kids look
Sorry, I'm dying over here and just got tears in my eyes.
The kids look to you confused, like, what does Oscar mean?
Oh, it's something that only happens in Oscar's dreams.
And then our freak asks, is that why he was tossing and turning all night, like he was having a nightmare?
I believe so.
You know, it's good to just be honest with them now when they're young.
Well, anywho, I believe that he'll probably have many nightmares in the future.
The
I'm
kids.
gonna give him side eye now.
I don't know what I am.
The kids seem confused, but they kind of like just accept what they hear, so they don't have to hear bickering between adults.
I say, they're not used to this yet. They've been around
They've
us for a
learned
little
so
bit now.
young.
They haven't really been around the
2 or 3
party too often. Yeah, they've kind of been more in the inn while you guys go off.
I guess.
So it'd be up to the barkeeper and his wife if they bicker or not.
They probably don't.
But yeah, so the thing I was gonna do for you, Oscar, if you can't stay the whole time, I was gonna say that you feeling ill, you kind of drag behind the party. You still end up attending the festival, but you're not near everybody else.
Forcefully.
Well, I mean, if the party doesn't want to take the kids out on adventures, I could take them and just do whatever they want to do.
Could do that as well. I figured.
Bullshit,
sound
that
very
sounds
Oscar.
responsible.
No,
Very
Yeah.
Oscar to break into the fact that the kids were gonna go hang out with Irina all day, and he would just be like, "Yeah, I'm going with them."
yeah. I'm going with see, the kids provide few things. One, if they're hanging with Irina, I can hang out with Irina. Two, if I see that other girl, I have these kids. I'm like, you can't cause a scene. Look at these kids.
Oh my
Think of
god!
what plan well thought out.
Don't just come back.
Oh, you,
Only when you say it out loud.
you can't yell at me. There are children near. Think of the children.
Think of
the
the children.
fuck? Like, damn.
And Fench, you said that you didn't know anybody like people in sunny in Philadelphia.
You're right.
Anyway, but yes, so Aiden, so you done talking with the kids, or you want to talk to them some more?
I mostly just get them ready.
Okay.
If they want to talk, then sure. But
Myrtle's pretty quiet, but Freak seems excited about the idea of a festival. He says that he pretty much explains that he hasn't really ever been to a party or anything big before, so he's excited to see how it's done.
well, it should be fun. Attendance is mandatory after all.
He looks confused and he's like, that doesn't make it sound too fun.
Well, I mean, you need to have fun. All right. I'm sure there'll be quite a lot. They've got some colorful banners set up. All right. The lady seems very nice for them.
Maybe we'll get you some funnel cake.
The kids look confused. They're like, is that cake in the shape of a funnel?
No,
You'll have
it's
to
cake.
try it. It's hard to explain.
It's cake covered in sugar.
They
Yeah,
seem to
basically
get
it.
they get excited then confused because the last pastries they've been fed were not the
That's fucked
tastiest.
up.
You know what? If not, maybe we'll get you like some deep fried Oreos or something else.
Yes,
Maybe
all
a little
canonical
bit.
foods for this time period.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's fancy. Magic. Magic makes funnel
Oreos.
cake a thing.
This is
Yeah.
sci fantasy. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, sorry, this is near future.
This might be Spelljammer.
Yeah, you didn't know all the Sword Coast was post-apocalyptic?
The only
I mean, it technically is.
What?
Well,
Apocalypse.
I mean, it
the
wasn't
death
for
of the
us.
gods.
Yeah, and like the pre-makers or whatever the hell they were.
The pre-makers.
Let's
I mean-
not argue about D&D lore on the stream. We can agree that there are many a thing that a child would want at a medieval fantasy
Yes.
festival.
Yeah, maybe.
Pickles on sticks, turkey legs on sticks.
I was gonna say turkey legs.
There'll be
Pierogies
some
on
nice
sticks.
music.
Pierogies on sticks. Yeah, I can
I'm
see
just
it.
going off of the Ren Fair.
Yes,
they got pierogies
sticks
at
on
Ren
sticks.
Deep fried wolf heads on sticks.
Yeah, they do.
No,
the
they
deep
weren't
fried
even
wolf
deep
head.
fried. They were just fresh wolf heads the kids had to gather. No big
Well,
deal.
wait.
Well,
Didn't-
you have to
didn't
deep
we-
fry them before you serve them, though. You can't solve raw wolf head.
But wait, guys, didn't we
Not
canonically?
with that attitude, you can't.
But wait, guys, didn't we canonically state that nothing's on sticks yet in this realm, and that's why Anthony's business is going to be such a big success?
Ooh.
No,
Yeah,
his
you
are
might
on
be right.
swords.
Oh yeah, ours is on swords, not
Oh,
sticks.
so
That's why
sticks,
we're
Yeah.
sticks is old news.
Yeah.
Sword is new news. Got it.
They're
gonna
gonna
fancy
invent.
it up.
They're gonna invent the club sandwich.
Is it just a sandwich on a club?
Little like
It's just-
plastic.
It's just
swords
like
and
an angry
sandwiches.
baguette.
Okay, so yes, Oscar. So are you gonna stay behind to hang out with the kids and Irina?
Yeah.
Okay,
Come on, Eileen. Don't stare at me.
it's not her name, but okay.
Irene, close enough.
Yeah. All right, Aiden. So yeah, the kids are ready. They look like they're waiting for Irina, and you hear Oscar offer that he'll stay. He'll also accompany the kids to the festival.
All right, Oscar.
You
But
don't have to say
don't
it
let
like that.
anything happen to them.
But whenever I let anything happen to anybody.
Ha!
Fine.
Fench.
Not there.
I'll reword that. Make sure that anything that goes wrong happens to yourself. That should be easy.
Well, that sounds more of my wheelhouse.
Yes, it does.
Is Oscar the Charlie of our party?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. He sounded like a dentist a second ago.
He did. I keep the kids around for 2 reasons. Damn.
1, to get laid. 2, to avoid confrontation.
Like, okay.
Anyway,
Wait, who's our Danny DeVito?
Oh.
Is that Jordan?
I think it's got to be Jordan.
yeah, Jordan's the shortest, but he's not such a wild card.
Jordan, you gotta hop out of a couch butt naked.
I mean, I need a lot of drinks for that.
It is a festival.
I think Fench is very much Mac.
Buff guy.
Yeah.
What does that make you, Romero?
When are we gonna get Fat Fench then?
Probably D.
You're D.
Yeah.
You're not a bird. But, okay. But yes, so Danica serves the rest of you breakfast, and she kind of reiterates the warning of, like, to make sure to go to the festival of your own will, so you're not lined up according to the guards.
What do they
What kind
do
of
if you
breakfast
don't go
do
to
you
the
serve?
festival?
Sorry, you both talked at the same time.
My apologies. You go first.
I was gonna say, what kind of breakfast does she serve us?
Just some basic sausage and a piece of bread.
I was expecting fancy festival breakfast.
Yeah.
It has a little flag in it.
No.
Little sun flag.
The inn is all about providing the only alcohol in town. The food's not their highlight.
Yes.
That's why the food is free.
If it's the blazing sun, because the sausage is grilled and the bread is toast.
Fair enough.
Do you want a glass of orange? Say there's a glass of orange juice for you too, for the sunlight.
Who's growing oranges in Valaki?
Probably no one, but it's the
They're
only
blood
Orange-
oranges.
blood
Orange
oranges.
juice is very expensive.
Yeah, the blood oranges make sense.
Well, I guess they have the red alcoholic drink, right? That's probably the closest you'll get to a sun color.
What was that one? Red Dragon?
Red Dragon Crush!
Yeah, the other one is grape mash.
Great mash.
I think.
Sounds like an energy drink. The other one sounds like a wine. Alright.
So was it,
Yeah,
was
purple
Arena
grape,
good to
purple grape mash number 3, or red dragon crush wine. But
was Arena good to meet with me and head out?
she'll probably not make it in till till a little bit longer. But yeah, she would be okay with hanging out with you and the kids, and Ismark would also be with the group.
Well, we know they'll be safe then.
What if he's a werewolf? Or what if he becomes a werewolf accidentally?
Oh
You won't.
no!
I might know a guy.
Are you gonna antagonize people in the woods?
He's gonna stick the werewolves on Ismark.
Goodness.
Oh.
Do I have disguise self yet?
Right.
But yep. Anything you guys want to prepare or do before jumping into the festivities?
I mean, it's just a festival, right? Should we be wearing our armor and carrying around our weapons?
I mean, I am.
Okay.
You kidding me? I mean, you see the place we're in.
So I don't know where else I'd leave them. I don't
I'm not
trust to
leaving
leave
my
them here.
stuff here. Are you kidding me?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, I'm pretty sure Finch sleeps in his armor.
He does. It's very uncomfortable.
You just don't know the joys of acupuncture.
When were we
You
getting
should
the
be gaining
toys?
an exhaustion level every time you do that.
Blinsky said probably after the festival
Okay.
or the day after, because he had to work on his pieces for today.
Yes.
Is Oscar gonna use his Strahd puppet today?
That's not up to me.
I mean, yeah, probably.
All right, you guys good to head out?
Yes.
Okay. So, as the four of you go to exit the Blue Water Inn, I'll move you all to the town map.
Alright, I'm gonna pop off then.
Okay. You have a
Sound
good
good?
night. Yep.
Thank you guys. See you next time.
Yep.
Mhm.
Later.
Good luck with houses.
Thank you.
I have multiple Jorins. And probably multiple Aidens.
There's just the second.
Wow.
And I
Never
don't know
enough
where I
Jorin.
left the Romero. I accidentally brought with me.
I think he got rid of them now.
Oh man.
No, he's here. He's so small.
he just got real tiny. There he is.
Okay.
Oh.
But yeah, so you guys leave the Blue Water Inn, and as you walk out, you see along the paths that there are townsfolk walking in very organized lines towards the town square. Sporadically along those lines of people, you spot the occasional townsguard pointing and yelling to ensure that everyone's making their way to the town square in a timely and orderly fashion.
Do people look happy?
People look like they know where they're supposed to go.
Well, this festival's a failure.
Fun was not one of the requirements.
I thought it was a requirement.
I mean, I'm having fun.
I mean, are we going to have a chance to eat interesting food and have a good time?
I do like those things.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they'll have any rat kebabs.
As you guys are discussing this, you kind of are like, end up with a flow of people walking across up until you reach the town square here.
Okay.
As you enter in, you hear what sounds like poorly prepared musical numbers. It sounds like they got a group of maybe 10 or so Valachians to stand on a couple very small setup stages. Very few are on key, and the rest of them are very off key. And you come in the middle of this song. They finish the song not too long afterwards, and you see that the guards are forcibly telling people to appreciate the decorations set up around the town square. They kind of have like lines of people that they're escorting to make sure that people look at all the decorations people have prepared.
It's like the world's worst guided museum tour.
Yeah.
Essentially. Aiden, you recognize a couple of the women along this tour. I don't believe the rest of the party would recognize him. You see the lady with a blue butterfly beret. She has a very large, extravagant sun painting painted on a very large canvas hanging off the side of a building. She seems very proud of it, but it doesn't look like she toiled over it. You see another woman you recognized, but she looks very disheveled from the last time you saw her. It looks like she has a very large braided sun flag that started off very intricate and kind of like trailed off towards the end and looked very rushed. You recognize that one?
Yes.
So
hers is incomplete then.
it is technically complete, but it looks like it started off very organized and meticulous and kind of ended where she just tried to finish as much as she could as quickly as she could.
Almost if someone used her time and then ruined it for her.
Oh,
I don't know anyone who would do something like that.
Yeah, no one's that terrible.
Yeah, the party's full of angels.
Yep.
So shortly after the decorations, the burgomaster kind of like stands up on a stage and he starts leading the town into a very lengthy session of prayers to ward off the devil. And occasionally it's interrupted by more off-key singing by the same group that was singing when you first entered. The various songs and prayers speak highly to the sun and how it's able to ward the devil away and keep the town safe. At the very end of all of this lengthy session, it's topped off with a 2-hour speech on security and obedience provided by the Baron himself. He drones on in details, and as you see him up there, you make out his piercing eyes and a very stern face, with long white-gray hair combed in a very regal fashion. He very much stands out compared to the rest of the citizens of the town.
Can I whisper to Aiden and be like, this is so boring. This festival is so boring.
Are we being kept here, or?
As you look around Fench, kind of eager to see what's going on, you see plenty of town's guard waiting and listening and patrolling.
That's kind of a yes.
But yes, so he finishes up his 2-hour-long speech, and he says, in what he thinks is a very gracious manner, that everyone's allowed a short break so that you may enjoy the vendors that we have.
can I ask for the burgomaster's name?
It is... I know
Chocolate Tom Sawyer.
I know his first name, but his son has a very similar first name, and I don't want to mix up their first names.
His last name should be Velakovich.
Yes, his last name's Velakovich. His first name is Vargas.
Call him Vivi.
Do we see Irina here at this point?
The crowd's pretty thick, and it's a bit difficult to make out people, but you think you spot her and Ismark and Oscar kind of on the opposite side of the square.
What kind of vendors do they have?
Can I see if any of the guards are like watching them closely?
You do see that it's as if there are like 1 or 2 assigned to stay a little bit closer to her, while others are kind of more patrolling in a general manner.
Do we have an idea what the creepy guy who wanted the Irina doll looked like?
I don't think you've met him yet, but you do. I think you learned from Blinsky his name's Isaac, and he's the right-hand man of the Baron.
Yeah, I don't remember if we got a description of him or not.
I don't believe so.
Didn't they say he was like ultra pale or something? Like a vampire?
Gasp.
Oh, jeez.
Seriously though.
If you want, Jorin, you can kind of look around and see if you can get an idea of who might be the man.
A vampire.
I would keep an eye on people circulating the burgomaster and who might be suspicious and creepy among them.
Okay, you see a woman standing near who you would guess is most likely his wife. And then you also see a young man that looks similar to the Baron. So you could guess that's likely his son with him. But you do see another person nearby that seems to stick close to him that doesn't look related at all. Let me get his picture so I know how to describe him. He is he's taller, he's built in a very muscular way, and he's completely bald. And the interesting thing you notice about this man is that he has where is it? Oh, he has, instead of a right arm, you see this guy standing near the Baron has an appendage that looks like it has barbed spines, elongated fingers, and long nails.
Wait,
What?
like what do you mean? Like a prosthetic arm or
Yes.
what?
Neat.
He does not have a right arm and instead has this appendage.
Is there a picture of it you can bring up?
I can give you... Trying to see if I have a spare Google Chrome window open, but I don't. So I'll open a new one. Let me get a... There's a lot of fan art for it. All of these are kind of like...
So it like didn't come with like as part of his port picture or anything like.
It's
showing.
very small in his icon. Like you can see his fingers. So if I drop it... Oh, hello. That's
Oh boy,
that's
he's
a big token. But you can see like that holding his weapon.
Okay.
He's got very long nails, elongated fingers, and the appendage is basically like an arm, but it's got barbed spines down.
So he's got like a lizard arm.
Yeah, sure. But it is like a
Bro, it's
prosthetic.
evil as shit.
Yeah, dude,
Dude looks obviously evil.
that is not natural. It could be a sweetheart.
That's
You
all
don't know.
Barovians, though, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry, bros. I got this. I want to use divine sense. Cause I see that guy and I go, that guy looks divine sense.
Looks divine sense. I yeah, he smells bad. Let me double check though. I think you actually just get that kind of noxious scent from that whole area up there where they're standing on their podium. So it's not exactly clear who's giving it off.
Oh, wait. Oscar was right?
Well,
Right about what?
That we gotta take over the town.
Well,
I mean, as
Not
far as we know,
necessarily.
just somebody on the mayor's podium is evil, and I go,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
someone on the mayor's podium is evil, and then I go, it's probably that Isaac guy with the weird-looking arm. 'Cause he looks weird.
the guy that asked the toy maker for the creepy doll.
Yeah, I mean, like it's pretty obvious. He asks for creepy dolls, and he looks weird. He's probably the bad guy, right?
Oh, every town's gotta have a bad guy, so he must be it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, if it's not him and it's the wife or something, I'll be real confused.
It's
Yes.
a little rope-a-dope, you know. You don't see it coming.
So I'm just saying, like, it'll come out of left field. I'll be very, very surprised.
But yes, are you still curious about the vendors, or are you now staring suspiciously at the podium?
I think it's just me and Jorin like whispering to each other about how evil the one guy was.
I'm gonna say you're safe enough from the size of the crowd that the town's guard aren't near you to be like, "What'd you say?"
Which is
Romero
kind of
probably
ironic, because like Romero already looks kind of evil, and yet he's totally judging this guy. But...
Yeah, Romero just looks like another evil-looking person talking to a well-armed child.
and pointing and going, that guy looks evil, right?
You see that guy? One day you'll grow up to be big and mean like him.
Yeah, Aiden, were you or Fench? Were you either of you curious about the vendors?
Yeah.
Because I feel like you'd be sad if I said no. Yes.
No, you don't have to be anything. I just know.
I am a little curious though to see what's there.
Yeah, I know Stryder asked before this conversation, and then he got completely distracted. So yeah, so looking around, most of the shopkeepers have like basic things, some snacks, Fench, you recognize the one as like a very small food stand with the baked goods, like the bread from where you save the rats from, offering like slices of bread for sale. The only things other than that you recognize, you spot Blinksy displaying the works that you guys didn't purchase, showing them off as his latest wares. And you also see the extravagant man you recall meeting at the inn, holding a small puppet show.
So, food, puppet show, or toys?
Pretty much.
I'm gonna go to the puppet show.
Okay.
Me
I'm with Finch.
You notice that he's noticed the puppet show.
Hey.
I kind of just trail
where's-
behind and go, you know,
where's he?
Jobobio, if we painted your face like a puppet, we could play that we're better puppeteers.
I'm not a very good actor.
That's okay. We don't need you to act. We're just gonna put strings in your fingers.
Yeah.
Guys.
And then you just do normal stuff.
It looks so natural. How does he do it? But yeah, so you approach the puppet show. All of you recognize this man from the inn. Did he introduce his name to you guys or no?
I think so.
Rictavio?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see Rictavio. He's kind of telling a short story. It seems like he's recollecting something extravagant that happened to him on his circus travels. A lot of his audience are kids sitting on the street enjoying the show.
Oh, okay.
Does that not interest Fench?
I was wondering if there'd be something like some allegory or something along those lines, but I guess that's fine then. Nothing really that weird. It's neat though.
He says to the party as the party stares at him like, what did you expect from a child's puppet show?
I don't know. Look, this place is weird. You never know what's going to happen. For all I know, one of those things could have exploded into confetti. All right. I guess I'll go to the food.
Okay. And any particular food, or are you just grabbing some bread?
I am gonna get some bread.
Okay.
And I'm gonna snack on some bread.
See if you can find rat kebabs. I'm gonna hang out and watch the puppet show more.
Ignore that.
The very heavily armed child takes his place amongst the children.
I do come back with some bread though.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say, I'm surprised you bought bread from there, considering 2 days ago they had a rat infestation.
We cleaned it up.
I mean, honestly, it's cooked, so
I
that should
still
make
have-
it fine.
I still have the 6 loaves of bread they gave us before. I don't know why you had to go buy more.
Those ones are
Honestly-
hard and stale now.
Fresh is better.
Okay. As you guys go around looking at all the various vendors, you see what it looks like the sun reaches a high point in the sky, probably indicating it's about noon. And you hear Baron Velakovich kind of start directing his guards around so that he can get everybody's attention again. You start to hear loud whispers and people pointing and moving to clear a path off one of the side roads. In the distance, you can see a large wicker sun being paraded along towards the town square. The Baron himself is riding a horse, leading the parade back into the town square.
Alright, quick question. Whose son is it?
No.
Ah,
No.
ah.
It's a literal
back.
son.
Okay.
Yes, yes. But,
Oh, it was funny because it was okay. No, I'll stop.
But yes, the sun's being brought back. As the parade approaches and gets closer, the Baron makes a point to ride past everyone on his horse, And you notice followed behind them, it looks like it's children forced into the parade, looking very unhappy in flower costumes, leading the actual group of guards carrying the 10-foot in diameter wicker sun. The wicker sun is then set upon a platform constructed beside the stocks and gallows, where they still have some prisoners for talking against the festival and anything against the Baron. But as they finally set the sun down, you guys can't help but notice the sky seems to darken a bit as clouds kind of roll in.
Well, that's ironic, isn't it?
What is the Festival of the Sun? It's about to be cloudy. I think it's more ironic that I'm pretty sure they're about to light it on fire. What happens when the sun goes out?
Then it'll be actually dark here.
Yeah.
Mm.
Very strange.
It's almost like someone who seems to be able to control the weather around here knows what's going on and is trying to spite them.
I heard he's not spiteful at all, that he'll bring your wife to the country if you ask kindly.
I heard that too.
Fench, you can see his face. He's not happy right now.
I think he forgot about that.
I guess we should stop bringing it up.
It's a
He
good
did not
thing
forget.
It's a good thing Oscar's not around.
Yeah, they should take some time apart.
Reminds me, I have to go get a net.
Once the actual wicker sun is set on the platform, and the Baron begins another speech. As he moves towards the wicker sun, he pulls the young man you saw near him to follow behind him, the man that you suspect to be his son. Fench. And
Wait, he's going to light his actual sun on fire?
Is he going to use the sun to light the sun?
he nudges his son.
Which one?
This is why did I write it like this? All right. He
Do they expect people to be serious?
He nudges the young man to stand alongside him, and he goes on to complete his speech. As he finishes off his speech, the Baron holds a torch that he lights and holds it high above his head and ends the whole speech with his traditional phrase, "All will be well." He kind of elbows the young man next to him, and the young man raises his arms up to the sky and begins mouthing words as the Baron watches the sky expectantly. You're not sure what they're looking for, but it soon starts to pour rain, and the Baron looks very displeased. Everyone's getting soaked by the rain, including the large wicker sun that, you are correct, is meant to be set afire.
Can I put my hood on my cloak of protection up? So that I'm not getting soaked by the fucking rain.
Yes.
Cool.
But surprisingly, the Baron's torch hasn't gone out from the rain. But he's trying to use his one hand to cover the flame as much as he can. And in a very stubborn fashion, he marches towards the wicker sun and tries to thrust the torch into the center of the sphere. The torch goes out and the wicker ball does not light. A silence kind of falls over the entire crowd, but a singular loud laugh erupts from the crowd, drawing the burgomaster's fiery gaze and some gasps from the townsfolk.
I just go, oh god, what has Oscar done this time?
Looking around, you're surprised to see it wasn't Oscar who let out the laugh, but instead it looks like a member of the town militia has. Looking around, you can see that other guards are extremely surprised at the guardsmen's laughter. The burgomaster shouts, Lars, arrest him immediately. This is spiteful, and he deserves to be imprisoned for it. And you start to see the guards start to push aside everybody else to get to Lars.
Oh, either Lars is about to have a really bad day, or those guards are about to have a really bad day, because Lars isn't Lars.
Should we like? I go to like Fench. Should we like step in, or is this just this town, or?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. It looks like I would not feel bad if we eventually had to step in, if you understand what I'm trying to get at. But I feel like at this current moment, we should let things play out and see how they go.
All right, all right, all right. Very well. I'm just glad it wasn't Oscar. I thought I was gonna have to kill some people again.
You really didn't have. You wouldn't have to, would you?
I mean, they're dragging them up to the gallows, right?
I mean,
No, I just thought it was just imprisonment. What, are they murdering this guy?
Pretty
Put
sure
it
that's a gallows right there on the next platform with all of the other people who didn't go to the festival.
No, they're just stocks. That's where they just put people and put them in. People throw tomatoes at them.
DM clarification.
It is stocks and gallows.
Both.
So we're both right.
everyone's right.
Yes, but as you guys are discussing this, and you've all agreed that you're not intervening, right?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Unless Aiden decides to do something, I don't think any of the three of us are doing it.
Okay.
So, Aiden, do you have any way to light that thing on fire now?
No.
All right, we're screwed.
You see the guards, all the rest of the town's guard make it to Lars. They bind him at the ankles and wrists and drag him behind the burgomaster's horse that he used to lead the parade. The burgomaster jumps on the horse himself and shouts that Lars will be dragged behind on the horse for everybody's amusement, and kicks off, riding on the horse, dragging Lars behind him.
God.
Seems a bit harsh, Fench. I mean, he's probably going to die.
I don't think there's a probably about it.
Do we know Lars?
Do not. This is your first encounter with him.
All right, so we should step in now, right? Is that what we're saying at the moment? We should try and kill the kill the burgomaster?
I think it might be too late to step in.
Yeah, I'm a little bit with the Jorin on this one. I just don't see us stopping his death at the moment. I think we.
I mean, has he?
Messed up.
Do we have time, like, as we see them trying to tie him to the back of the horse, to make a decision?
No.
I mean, as the horse passes, we could just try and chop it in half. Chop the burgomaster off.
Yes, let's chop the.
I thought you were going to say the horse in half. I was like,
That's
whoa.
what it sounds.
A or B, it works both ways.
I mean, it's a pretty big crowd of people. It'd be tough. I mean,
honestly, I'm not really to break
this
in.
one up as a loss and say, I guess, well.
Honestly, I'm just not too willing to break and buy this town right now.
yeah, frankly, I don't know that we can take all of the guards in the town, because that's what happens after we do that.
True.
Okay. But at the end of this, the burgomaster doesn't really come back to finish out the festival, and the town's guard that are left kind of start emptying out the town square, telling everyone that, your attendance is much appreciated. It's another week without the devil. Please start your preparations for the next.
Well, that was shit.
Yeah.
I had much higher expectations for this
I've
festival.
I've been to better.
I don't think I've been to worse.
I mean, it still had vendors.
I mean, I guess you're right. There
It just
was
wasn't
a
very
puppet show.
cheerful.
Yeah.
So should Should we actually work on getting Irina a place to stay now?
I mean, yes, but I don't like the Burgomaster, so maybe not with him.
I agree.
Yeah, that seems much less safe. Wasn't the church one of our options? I thought that's where we were leaning.
Yeah, I think the church was an option. If we stole a book or something, I don't remember.
Irina explained that there was something stolen, so they don't feel safe right now.
If we steal a book or someone else stole a book and we find, I don't remember.
Solve the mystery of the stolen book from the church.
Something like that.
All right. I mean, I guess we might as well give it a shot.
That we don't know that one of our invisible party members already had.
What?
He would have been at the festival.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you mean okay?
That's how the book got stolen.
Oh, okay. But all right, so
That fateful night.
We're gonna go there and find out it's not the book that was stolen. They don't care about the book at all. It's gonna be it's like a saint's head or something.
Oh.
Oh my! This is not what we thought we were getting involved with.
So do you guys want to head back to the inn to see if you can catch Irina to get the full story? Do you want to just head straight to the church?
We should at least tell Irina we're looking into it for her.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I'll say that you guys head back to the inn after all the festivities get closed out and kind of wait in the bar area. You see Irina, the two kids, Ismark, and Oscar come back. Oscar seems, extremely tired by it all, having not slept at all, and going through the same super exciting, fun, totally great festival that you all went through. He decides to go upstairs and get rest. So which one of you talks to Irina?
I thought this was going to be more of like a group effort thing, right?
You're a group effort.
Oh my.
I'll do it.
Okay.
So, Irina,
Yes?
are you certain that you wish to stay in this town?
It seems like my best option for now. They haven't had any attacks from the devil himself, thanks to these festivals. The Baron seems to say he knows what's going on.
The Baron seems to be a wolf in sheep's clothing, just the same.
Yes, but compared to what I dealt with back in my village, this is a much more stable area, believe it or not, than the village of Barovia.
You wouldn't think that the random southern weather change to extremely rainy as the Burgomaster's trying to light the sun of the Sun Festival was an attack?
It not so much that I've dealt with before. I mean, recall my father died of a heart attack from repeated people attacking our house at night.
All right.
Fair points. Fair points.
Much later than that one. I'll give you that.
So who's to say if it's a direct attack or just a awful coincidence?
Feels very much like he's mocking the town, that he still has control over it whenever he wants.
It could be a possibility. Irina looks to Ismark. Ismark kind of looks, saddened by this. He's like, I heard this was the most fortified town, so I thought this is where we would come drop off Irina to be safe. If you guys have doubts, I could go ask around for other towns we could bring her to.
I mean, it very well may be the safest, but that's a pretty low bar.
Yes. So, this church that you were looking to stay at, any sort of information?
Oh, yes. I stopped by Father Lucian. He made it sound like he's willing to house us. He mentioned that there is the orphanage that freaking Myrtle could stay at as well, so that, you know, they'd have a safe place to be. He just said that there was a case of thievery, and he would feel most comfortable if, you know, that could be resolved before he agrees to taking on additional tenants.
Well, I guess we might as well jump on to that, right?
Yes.
All two birds, one stone kind of deal.
No, I'm not much of an investigator, though. Or any of you.
Oh, I live for that kind of thing.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just be the muscle.
Actually, my guy's pretty good at figuring out if somebody lied or not.
Good. I'm terrible at that bit.
I'm good at scaring the shit out of people. If we need to do that, I'm pretty good.
Good.
Someone needs to be intimidated. I'm good at finding things in nature. I don't know. Outside of that,
I like the idea of this being like an Ocean's 11 meeting. Like, what's your specialty?
Yes.
And Jorin's like, outside.
outdoors.
The outdoors is my specialty.
It's like, you realize this is a heist indoors. Yes.
I can also be sneaky.
But yeah,
So, I'm for separating from Irina.
okay.
Irina, you and Aiden are breaking up.
Well, do you say that out loud that you want to like ditch her, or or are you just like voicing
I thought he did. I thought he said, I'm all for separating from Irina.
out loud?
Romero just says that.
No, the conversation seemed to be tapering off.
Okay.
Like, well, you're on your own now.
Irina, though, before you really like get to express that to the group, she mentions, I think I could speak to Father Lucian. He seemed a bit on edge thanks to this thievery. He might listen better if I'm there as well, if that's fine with the group of you.
Yeah, that's fine. Could you go ahead of us, though?
Yes. Yeah, I can go speak with him, make sure he's comfortable with all of it, and that everything works out. So, yeah. So, she heads out towards the church. I think, Aiden, you saw the church before, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you know where it is.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The church is here.
Yeah, all the way on the far.
So, I would talk to the other people here and tell them that I broke into the church earlier.
So
Oh.
you're the thief. Well, that was an easy job. I figured it out on the first try.
Excellent
Mate.
sleuthing.
The only thing I stole was this book of records as to what was buried underneath the church.
So you're a dirty, dirty thief.
Yes.
And a boring one.
Yeah, it's a boring one. I mean, you couldn't have stolen something cool.
I doubt it. Alright. But I was looking into those prophecies we had gotten from the gypsy woman. The old gypsy woman.
Oh.
I remember that old gypsy woman.
Yes. The church seemed an easy enough place to do it. Alright. So I know that there is a secret hidden underneath the altar somehow. And that it contains possibly the bones of the saint that the church is named after.
So what
This
you're
really
saying
did
is
turn
we
into
can
a
rob
heist.
the church ourselves. Wait, no, that sounds like a terrible idea.
No, I just mean that
What?
if while we're there, we could certainly look into the secret spot under the church.
And stealing the bones of a saint?
No, we're looking for something else.
I'm starting to get a little confused here. Are we stealing saints' bones or are we not?
No. But if they're burying their saint under there, they might be burying other important people there.
Oh, so we should steal someone other than the saints' bones and then ransom it back to get Irina lodging.
So wait, are you hoping there's some like item of power under there or something? Is that
Multiple
is that the
bones.
concept we're
Yeah,
working with
that's
right now?
Yes.
All right,
So-
grave robbing. Not really my forte, but you know.
Well, you need someone with a strong back for grave robbing. I think you're ideally suited for this.
I do have a shovel.
It's not a moral issue, right?
Yes.
Wait.
I mean, hold on. See, I mean, like, if somebody's a saint, that means they've had some power, or at least, or have some sort of God's favor. Now, I pissed off Faye. I don't typically like pissing off gods.
He does have a good point.
Well, we aren't even looking into the god saint's bones, but somebody else that might be there.
Well, you got the record book. Who else could be there?
Well, I didn't find what I was looking for in the book.
So whoever you were looking for isn't buried there, is what you're telling us.
I don't know who I'm looking for. That's the thing.
Oh, so we should just go down and take everything we can get our hands on.
Well, there will probably be some sort of descriptor once we're in there. I just don't know his name.
So, are we going into the crypt or something
I
like
was
that?
gonna say, so there's like a crypt under there, or is it like we have to like dismantle this altar to get under there? What are we looking
Like, are we
at?
literally going into the middle of a church and just cracking open the altar and be like, nope, not there?
Well,
What is this? The
Sorry, Bishop. Work to do. This floor here, very
We are top
unsafe. You
men.
can't come here.
Top men here.
top man. We're going to crack through your floorboards.
Dressed
Like this is
as
Indiana Jones.
dressed as construction men. Don't mind
We're here to
us.
investigate your thieves. Don't mind us. We're just going to be looking through all of your stuff.
I got a clipboard, so you know I'm official.
I can just picture like the four of us walking in there. It really would look like the village people.
There is something under the altar, but I inspected the altar and didn't find any way underneath it from inside the church.
So you want to flip the altar.
No, there must be another way underneath the church that doesn't go through the altar, and that's simply a descriptor.
Okay. I mean, if we're just going to see if we can walk in from the outside, okay. I mean, I'm not going to say no to that.
I mean, it can't hurt for us to look, really. You know, we're just
Exactly.
trying to find a little secret passage under a church into some crypts. It sounds perfectly reasonable to me.
Yes.
Okay.
And we can get to the issue of whether it's morally good or bad to steal saints' bones when we reach that point.
We don't even know if we can find them yet.
Exactly. I mean, who needs to worry about stealing bones if you don't know where they're at?
Exactly.
Wait, are we actually going to steal a saint's bones?
We're
No,
going
it's
to
not.
cross that bridge when we find the bones.
No, weren't you listening?
Okay.
Aiden said it's not the saint we're looking for.
Okay. Your mind trick has worked on me.
It wasn't a trick at all, Fench.
I think the description we're seeing here is that the three of us are confused because we think we're stealing saints' bones.
All right. Someone else's stuff, not the saint's bones.
Yes.
We'll know who Aiden will know when he sees the name of who we're supposed to steal their stuff.
All right. And it's fine to steal stuff because it's not like they need it anyway. They're dead.
Not according to my beliefs. I don't think you need anything after you're dead.
Okay. I mean, I
Really?
guess you're not wrong.
Really, these people should have been given back to the earth. They're really taking them from nature being stuck in this crypt.
Haha, so we're doing God's work.
I think you are justifying bad actions. That's what I think we're doing right now.
I'm just saying,
But
I've never
I
minded
think as
stealing
long as
from a
we
corpse
have-
before, and I'm not going to mind it now.
Well, I think it's different if you make the corpse.
I've
Fetch,
Oh, so
justified
it's
it
okay
under
to
my
murder
moral
people
compass.
and then take their stuff.
Yes.
Fench, I didn't realize that you had some sort of strong moral ethic to yourself. You just saw a man get dragged by a horse, did nothing about it.
Well, I mean, I didn't have the power to choose in that situation.
I mean, you did kind of let that guy die.
Well, I mean, what were we going to do? Fight for him and die? I mean, I'm not interested in dying for somebody.
Well, there's no guarantee of death.
Yes,
And
but I know
I'm-
I work on strong likelihoods.
I'm on Fench's side on this one. If he did something about it, we would have all gotten drug into it too, because we've been seen with him the last 4 days around this town. Like, we're known associates. I personally am glad he thought of us in that situation and didn't do anything.
Yes, I'm sure that Fench was thinking, oh, but yes, it will drag poor Jorin into the murder spree.
I can't let my son, poor Jorin, be arrested in my name.
More wilderness in the game.
I mean, we're business partners on rat kebabs. We need all of us for this.
True, true.
He doesn't have enough swords on his own.
Yes, well, I don't intend to stick around in this country forever, alright? And I intend to leave, and something underneath that church may help us.
All right, now you're talking my language.
That's a
Fair
convincing
enough,
one.
fair enough. I like
There
this
we
guy's
go.
plan.
Alright?
I am convinced.
Now we are. Now not only are we convinced, we're motivated.
Yeah.
Yes. Because
I'll
I am
steal all
extra
the money
motivated.
stones if it gets us out of this shithole. As we sit at the table in the middle of the inn shouting.
I thought we were walking down the street.
Okay, as long as we're walking down the street, I guess that's better.
Just wandering down to the church, discussing how we're going to steal something that we
Are
don't
you
know.
sure you want to be down the street? Because I feel like I have to bring in Town's Guard if you guys are wildly shouting this shithole. And
On the day of the festival.
on the same day as the festival.
I'm sure they're preoccupied with the horseman.
There were enough left over to tell everyone to go home. It's over.
Hey, I'm gonna let Aiden decide where we were because I feel like that's the better choice.
I figured we'd have this discussion after Irina separated from us.
We were at the inn
Yes.
at that time, so I feel like that's probably where we were. That's where I was picturing it anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe in a dark corner table, not in the big one in the.
Not the center one with all the lights and Danica watching.
I thought we were outside.
I don't know.
If Danica was watching, I would probably say, I mean Barovia, not your inn, but like, you know, the whole area. Which doesn't make
Your
it much
house is
better.
nice, but your country sucks.
She's just like, yeah, what you gonna do?
Honestly, I feel like that's how that would go.
But okay. So you were at the inn, you finished this discussion, and now you're all motivated. So now you're all heading to the church?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Aiden can lead you to the church since she's already been there.
Yes.
And I'll drag all of you there.
Woo.
So I'll read this out again. So as you approach, you see the slouching, centuries-old stone church. It has a bulging steeple in the back and walls lined with cracked stained glass windows depicting pious saints. A fence of wrought iron encloses a garden of gravestones next to the church, and there is a thin mist that creeps amongst the graves.
Seems drafty. I mean, it's got cracked windows. That can't be good for insulation.
Mm-hmm. Market value is very poor.
I don't think there's a good market value in this country.
Yes. So as you enter,
So you're saying we should save this? We should first buy up a bunch of real estate, then save the country? Get you,
No.
get you.
it's free
Values
real estate.
skyrocket. See, values skyrocket, then we take the gold we make back home with us when we get out of this place.
And suddenly we're all rich billionaire real estate agents. Real estate. Barovian edition.
$1 million
Yes.
home listings.
In this place where we don't really know where we are.
Yes. Did you know this windmill was once used to make children pastries?
How interesting.
Honestly, top
This was once the-
necromancers will pay top dollar.
This was once the Burgermaster's house.
Yo, I heard
Until we
Hag
murdered him and
got
took his
lots of
hat.
those.
Okay. But yes, so you guys heading into the church now, or you guys want to investigate the outside?
Well, maybe we should split up, gang. Some people investigate the outside, some people investigate the inside.
Who goes with who?
I'll go inside.
I'll go inside as well.
All right.
I don't know. I feel like Romero should go inside since we need to talk to the priest. And Fench, you put your foot in your mouth.
Poor Fench.
It's
Do you-
true.
But I mean, look at Romero. Do you think the priest is really going to be put at ease talking to him?
Can I glare at Jorin and say, "Are you at ease yet?"
See, do you see what I mean? This is what you want to do.
I mean, Romero is still a paladin.
Yeah. So Aiden, you know, I think I see your point, and the words can make up for it, hopefully. Fench, you want to find some rats?
No.
All right. So I'll start with Aiden and Romero. So Aiden and Romero, as you enter, you see the priest speaking with Irina. He runs up to you and he introduces himself as Father Lucian, and he seems very excited to have people available to help. Yes. Irina explained to me that you'd be willing to help deal with the unfortunate events that occurred.
Yes. We're trying to move this along as quickly as possible.
Yeah, as am I. This the things that have gone missing are maybe more important than I might have led on to Irina. But come. He leads you two down into the hidden crypt beneath the stone altar at the head of this sanctuary.
Well, that was easy.
Well, you know, you got Irina to help, you know, convince them that you guys are trustworthy people, for better or for worse.
So there was a tunnel under the altar the whole time.
How does he get in here?
Do you say that out loud?
No. But we're following him into this tunnel. Like, where does it come from?
Do we see a mechanism on the way down?
Hold on.
Because I checked this altar.
I don't have that in my notes on how he opened it. That's bad on my part.
He pressed a button on a candlestick in the room.
Yeah, let's go with there is a special lever that you had to pull to be able to access this area. But yes.
Okay.
So going beneath the stone altar, he reveals that there's a stone slab, and the church's name is St. Andrew's, and this is where St. Andrew's bones once laid. Until the remains have been restored to the previous resting place, this church is no longer hallowed ground. He says he's not exactly sure who might have taken the bones, but the last person he recalls that was assigned to help dig some fresh graves the other night is an orphan boy named Milivoj. Perhaps he might have information on anyone he might have seen come and try and sneak in and enter or exit the church. I'll type out his name.
Is there another way into this crypt?
Father Lucian, he kind of rubs his eyebrows. This is the only way that I can think of entering the crypt.
So, he opens up this tunnel, and we walk down the tunnel, and there's no side paths, and it takes us to a room with a solid stone slab where bones are supposed to lay.
Yes.
And there's no other ways around this room.
That's not my other set of notes. You see no signs of anything that would imply that there's any other way into the room.
Alright. So, Father Lucian, do you stay in the church at all times?
There are times where I go out to do blessings and support other members of the town. So while I do sleep and live in the church, there are nights that I'm out. Like I said, Milivoj, I believe, was the only one assigned to work in the graveyard while I was out one night. Yeska was out with me that night as well.
Who?
Oh, sorry. Yeska is one of my church assistant.
Who else knows how to get in this room?
The only person should be myself. I try to keep this very guarded.
So you're the only person that knows how to get in here.
Yeah, I mean, I might have mentioned to Yeska before that the place is hallowed ground thanks to the bones, but I can't say that I've ever told them how to get here.
I whisper to Aiden, I think we got the guy.
How long has Yeska worked for you?
He's an altar boy. He's worked for me quite a while.
Okay. Do you mind if we just inspect this room?
Feel free to, yes. Do you want me to step away?
It's fine if you want to watch.
Okay. So he kind of like takes a step back to give you guys a little bit more space. But for looking around the room, the crypt itself is a 10-foot square, 5-foot high chamber.
He said it's supposed to be hallowed ground with the bones.
Yes.
Can I divine sense again and see if it's desecrated or consecrated? Or if any of them are monsters. Perhaps even Irina.
Yeah. You can do it. You would know that it has been desecrated. That's the right phrasing, right? If it once was consecrated and then is now not.
No. Desecrated means it's now like evil ground.
Oh, no. Then it's not evil. But it's...
So it's just normal ground.
Right now, yes.
I relay that information to my partner in investigating.
Okay. I'll cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
Mm-hmm.
See if there's any magic around here. And then can I check like the walls and the altar to see if there's any like suspicious stuff to it?
Yeah.
Okay. You can look around for the walls and stuff. Nothing seems to be damaged along the walls. And you don't detect any magic nearby.
I asked the priest how long ago he realized the bones had gone missing.
He believes it was a few nights ago.
Romero says, "Details, man. We need the details." I grab him by the collar and shake him.
You're going bad cop?
Yes, I'm playing bad cop.
Father Lucian seems very confused and scared. He's like, I honestly, it was a few nights ago when I was out with Yeska and Milovoj was the only one here. I can't give too many details if I wasn't present.
I narrow my eyes and I say, "Your story checks out, partner." Back off.
What's the floor look like? Is it like dirt?
Yeah.
Can we see like footprints?
Oh wait, hold on. Mm. Yeah, I guess it would be dirt. It just says it's a 10-foot square, 5-foot high chamber beneath the chapel. The only footprints you seem to see are the ones of yourselves. It seems like, the crypt itself is probably maintained often. Like the slab of stone itself is not actually very dusty, like you'd expect it to be.
All right. Last question. Do the bones hollow any ground that they're on?
Father Lucian thinks about it, and he says, I'm not sure that it hollows any ground that it's been on, but I can ensure it definitely does here at this church. I'd say it's probably particular to this church, as it's St. Andrew's himself.
Alright. Well, I guess it's time to go have a talk to this Milovoj.
We do a religion check to see if that's true. Do we know if a saint to a saint's church hollows ground?
Ooh.
I mean, my guy was brought up as paladin, so I assume he might know something.
Yeah, you can go ahead and make a religion check for that. Okay.
Divine sense every house in this build.
Yes,
I only have 3 more, so.
From what you understand, you believe that case to be the truth, where you can see the concern in the Father Lucian's eyes, and you've heard a little bit in your studies that some churches are especially holy by having their saint buried underneath.
I kind of give him the 2 fingers at my eye and point it at him, like I'm watching you. But his story checks out.
All right, Jorin and Fench, what do you guys do outside?
Is Jorin back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. Let's see. I guess we're just gonna kind of try searching around, see if we can find anything odd around.
Okay.
Any weird footprints or anything along those lines. So I'll roll perception.
Okay, you can go ahead and roll perception. Nice. Looking around, nothing's amiss really. You see the fence and you see various grave sites along the back. I assume you guys are kind of just walking the perimeter of the church.
I would like to search around the base, around the foundations of the church, see if there's a way under, since I have no idea that there's a convenient way under the altar inside.
Yes, Jorin, go ahead and also make a perception check. But yeah, Fench, where were you surveying mostly?
I was looking on the outside of the church, on the other side.
Okay. Along the side of the church, you notice the cracked windows, Fench, and you're kind of distracted by the ornateness of the stained glass. And Jorin, you're looking along the foundation to see if, anything seems amiss, like someone could crawl underneath, or maybe someone had recently dug there, but all of it seems perfectly intact.
Seems like a sturdy church to me. Well then. I suppose I'd wander toward the graveyard then.
Okay.
Or-
You wander towards the graveyard. You do notice that there maybe some graves are a little bit fresher than others, but otherwise it looks like a typical grave site to you, unless you want to look for anything in particular.
Everything's just like normal graves, or are there like any more ornate tombs or anything like that?
Nothing too fancy that stands out to you. A lot of it seems to generally be gravestones. Nothing too ornate. There do seem to be some plots that kind of look like they have families together. Maybe the biggest gravestones you see off in the distance have the Velakovich name on them, but you'd expect that of the Baron's family.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. So, I'll go back to Fench. I think we're at a dead end on our side here.
All right, well, let's go head on in then. If we can't find anything out here.
I don't know. Unless you can think of any place else to look. I searched the foundations and graveyard as best I could. I didn't find anything suspicious or out of the ordinary.
Honestly, I was hoping to see if there are any like broken things or something like that. I know some of the windows are a little smashed up, but I guess we can ask about it a bit, see if there's anything along those lines. Let's go take a look inside.
Okay.
Okay. So you head inside, and as you're heading inside, you see Romero and Aiden and the priest of the church heading up from the stairs leading below the altar.
Well, it was inside. We missed out.
I guess we follow.
No, they're heading up from being below.
Oh,
We'll go meet up with the rest of the party.
yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So Father Lucian asks again, he's like, is there anything else I can do to aid in your investigations?
Not for now.
Okay. Do you need directions to the orphanage where Milivoj lives?
Yes.
Yes. He points you in the direction of the orphanage.
Can the whole time they're having this exchange, can Romero just be behind Aiden with his arms crossed, glaring at the priest?
Sure. I'm sure Jorin and Fench would see this as you guys are coming up, that Romero is glaring into the back of the priest.
I told him not to do that. I don't know how that helps.
Does he see something that we don't?
I don't know. He just likes to pretend he's scary.
He kind of is.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I've kind of wondered, do you think if we just stared into his eyes long enough, we'd stop being scared when he does that thing he does?
He did? I frankly don't want to stare into his eyes that long.
You know what? I think I want to give it a shot. I'll ask him later on today.
Yeah, you go for that.
Okay. Oh.
So, I guess we're walking out, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So did you find anything outside?
Oh, as we leave, I just want to say something to the priest. I just want to be like, don't leave town or we'll know.
He looks very confused, as if he's never left town. And he kind of like nods his head in quiet agreement. But yes, he explains.
I'm like, Aiden, I read all about that in like a book once. That's why I was doing that.
Yes, you did a good job. Now, Jorin, did you find anything?
No, we couldn't find anything interesting outside. It seemed like everything's pretty stable and sturdy.
Yes. The only thing that we learned is that it's the bones of St. Andrew's that have been stolen.
No, nobody.
Kept underneath that altar through that tunnel that I didn't find earlier. I must have been blind. And apparently only the priest knew how to open the thing.
Hmm.
Maybe his altar boy knew about the bones.
Also, the priest checks out. I don't think he's that suspicious.
And I didn't find any, like, secret entrance down there. So,
Yes. But yes, the orphanage he points you to is the blue building, the large blue building heading slightly down the road.
oh, so far away.
Yeah, a lot of these places are residential, but yes. Are we cool with calling it a night here?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Before the next step of our mystery solving,
Mm-hmm.
can bring
Okay,
Oscar back in.
So, Romero, hear me out.
What's up?
You know how you do that thing you do when you scare people away and such like that?
Sure.
Do you think there's a way that, like, you know, people could, if they see it enough, they can build up an immunity to it or something along those lines?
I don't know. Never tried.
Well, I'm just thinking because there has to be a way that you can keep doing that, and we're fighting together, and I just don't glance over and like, oh dear God, there's a demon next to me and such.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I resent that. I'm not a demon.
Oh, I know, but shoot, I feel like I don't have control over the whole thing going on. So I'm trying to think of a way to, mitigate that, if you will.
I mean, I guess we could try, just practicing it.
All right.
On days when we're not doing stuff.
All right, I'm willing to give it a shot at least.
Maybe you'll get used to it if you get terrified enough.
It's
Or
possible.
maybe you'll becoming a terrified wreck all the time. I don't know. I've never really had this come up.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I feel like this is either gonna go really bad or really good. Either you'll be good from now on, or you'll just become terrified every time I'm around.
Man.
And either way, I'm kind of cool with it.
Okay.
Jeez.
All right, that's where we're in for tonight.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Right. Boop, boop, boop.
Adios.
Thanks for everyone
Goodbye,
that's
Adios.
that watched.